Can you believe it? But the festive season is almost upon us. And while we all look forward to a bit of downtime, it is also a time for high alert for police and security. From an increase of drunk drivers on the roads to criminals waiting to pounce on empty houses, there's no time to relax. Today, the City of Joburg launched its public safety festive season campaign, including 7 state-of-the-art mobile alcohol testing units. Well, to tell us all about the plan, I'm joined now by David Tembe, City of Joburg Public Safety MMC. Thank you so much for joining us. In the last hour, I spoke to Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, and he was just telling me about his grave concerns about the high crime rate in Gauteng. He says that it's such a difficult situation that we are in. It must be quite a daunting task to be tasked with keeping Joburg safe over the festive season. Talk to me about the plan.
Thanks so much, and thanks for having me. Yes, the plan that we're having, we are going to deploy all our officers at the hotspots, especially where we have a problem with fatalities on the road in terms of traffic. However, in terms of crime prevention, we'll deploy our officer, but we have been deploying them under the Buyam Teto operation in places of entertainment and the places like the parks where people will be enjoying themselves, having some drinks. But the issue of driving under the influence of alcohol is the one that was giving me and my team a sleepless night.
So you've got these new, 7 new, I think, mobile units. Why are they better to what we've been experiencing up to now?
Yeah, this is a different types of law enforcement, more so because we are using technology. We had dragger centers in Dover and then in the inner city, whereby when a person is found to be suspected of drinking and driving, we'll take them after breathalyzing them to the center where we use what we call it a dragger unit, where after taking a dragger unit, it will give us a printout that is accepted by NPA. You don't have to wait for the blood that will be taken to the lab. It takes more than 6 months or a year, but this one immediately, because it's accepted, a person within 2 days, he appears in court, and with that printout, the magistrate make a decision whether to suspend him or to give him give him a fine or suspend his license.
You know, just last week, you raised your concerns about repair and maintenance of street surveillance cameras. Has that issue been sorted out?
Yes, it hasn't been sorted out, but those that are responsible for it are busy with it. Remember, we have got the challenges of infrastructure vandalism. You see our robot is being vandalized. Our cameras, too, have been vandalized. But we are coming with a plan to ensure that what we're going to have an input on it, it won't be vandalized.
When will that plan come to fruition? I mean, it's fairly close to the festive season. Are you sure it's going to be ready in time?
Yeah, but even if we can have all these technologies, remember, law enforcement relies most solely on the deployment of officers. We are looking at having more officers because visible policing is the most important thing, and as long as you know where you are deploying them, based on the research that is done by either SAPS or ourselves.
Talk to me about how many extra officers are going to be on duty in Johannesburg over the festive season.
Normally, we're going to have over 2,000 officers, because all in all, Johannesburg Metro Police has got about 4.5 thousand officers. So we're going to have over 2,000 at any given time. What we are looking at, we are going to use what we call it 22 points. These 22 points means, therefore, we are going to have at any given time, take for an example, in Region E, or in Region E, let's say in Sante, we are going to have each and every street whereby we can deploy 4 or 2 Metro Police vehicles with plus minus 8 officers at strategic points. That's why we said it's 22 points and 44 points and 88 points. Those points we are going to do roadside checks, not only roadside checks, we are going to do stop and search and do stop and frisk, so that each and everyone, whether we miss you in another place, we'll get you in another point.
I want to ask you about what the police minister said today. He said quite clearly, shoot to kill, ask questions afterwards. We've heard this sort of thing from the police minister before, while he was police commissioner a number of years ago. Does that mean that the police are going to be more brutal? What do you make of his comments?
You see, what we have realized, and internationally when I attend the seminars, we need to train our officers on the use of force. Once you train them on the use of force, you will find that it's not necessary to shoot to kill. You'll do shoot to kill when your life is in danger, the officer's life is in danger, or the member of police, a member of the community's life is in danger, and or if the property is being threatened, then you can shoot to kill.
Do our speed cameras in Johannesburg work again? To the best of your knowledge, do you know if they're working yet?
No, they're not working. Because, myself, I'm an MMC. My job is to oversee. But the implementation, when it comes to the issue of sourcing out the cameras, is the competency of my chief of staff and the competency of the HOD of public safety. As a politician, we are not allowed to deal with the issues of tenders, but I can make a follow-up to the city manager and say, how far are you with the issue of the speed cameras? I even asked about it yesterday because it's my concern.
Yeah. Absolutely, because, and it's great to hear that there's more visible policing, but the police can't be everywhere, and those speed traps will help people realise that they can't get away with crazy speeding on our streets. I want to end with your advice to residents in Johannesburg over the festive season. Quite a few people are worried about leaving their homes empty. What is your advice to residents around this time of year in Joburg?
My advice is that they must work very closely with security companies, especially in the inner city, but not only in the inner city, in the suburb. And they must join neighborhood watch, because once you leave, you must have some people who will be able to phone you if anything has happened and to watch over your yard. And they must also be very careful when they go to the malls. When they drew money going to the malls, they mustn't. I have realized even today, the use of the cell phone. You find everyone putting having his cell phone, talking in the street, and there's some other vehicles or other criminals who just stop their vehicle and grab those cell phones. Yes, they must be vigilant when they leave their home to go on holiday.
Yeah, we've got to be really streetwise. Thank you so much for chatting to us this evening, David Tembe, City of Joburg Public Safety MMC, saying state-of-the-art tech to deal with drunk driving, more police officers in vulnerable areas. But sadly, our speed cameras are still not operational.